let's do it. Let's make it. We have number 1, 0. I'm going to start with the third one. I'm going to send with the third one. Yeah, interesting. So beautiful.
So today, before getting on to film with you, I just real quick pulled up the playlist for the Project Soapway winners because I wanted to double check on the name of the business for today. And the playlist just started playing right away. You know what I mean? And the first video in it is obviously the very first winner of Project Soapway, which was Soaps on Stone. And that's not the winner for today. It's part of the story. And anyway, I hear her voice talking in it, and then the very first, like within 15 seconds, I'm crying. And then I started thinking about all of the awesome winners that we have had throughout all of this and how they have just like really touched me in a huge way. Like every single one of the winners have made me emotional. And this winner for today is also no exception. She wrote me a gorgeous thank you letter when she won her first challenge that definitely had me weeping. And I am so very excited to get to talk about her again and show off her amazing skills. And so I will tell you who this is and why she's so awesome, even though, like, obviously she's just awesome and you already know who it is because the thumbnail said so. But I'll tell you all about that more in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for week 22 of year 3 and Project Soapway Ghost Swirls Challenge winner number 2. And today we are showcasing Bubble and More, or Patricia, as we also know her as. Here's the thing though, she's from Vancouver, Canada, and we did decide that it was Vancouver, Canada, and not Washington in the last video, so that's been checkmarked for sure. But I've heard her talk, and so she definitely has a Spanish accent, and we have talked in comments or in the Discord before, and she's asked me about my accent, and so I'm thinking I'm actually like pronouncing the name wrong. I don't think it's actually Patricia, right? It should be like Patricia, right? So either way, if it's Patricia or Patricia, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong in both cases, but I love you regardless of how I butcher names. But as I said before, she sent me a really lovely letter, a thank you letter, in her first win. So this is win number 2 for Bubble and More, or Patricia, either way. And the first one that she did was for the coconut-free Big Bubble, and like that lather lives still to this day, rent-free in my brain. Such a good recipe. And if anybody's done it, you guys should definitely be thanking her for all of that. But first and foremost, tell her congratulations in the comments here and all of the things, because Bubble and More is amazing. And their Ghost Swirl was also amazing. And it's so beautiful and fun and bright and just happy. And also I was happy because I got to hear her talk throughout some of this and explain her whole process. She definitely does a wonderful job breaking everything down and making it very, very user-friendly, which totally makes sense because she also teaches soap classes. And so make sure to check out those socials. But I am getting ahead of myself. We should go check out her pour and her Ghost Swirl awesomeness before we do, any of that. So let's go there to do that. I am actually very, very certain that it is Patricia, not Patricia. You know what I mean? She's got such a cool accent, and I'm just saying it all stupid. Also, I have an aunt, well, two aunts actually, who are named Patricia, and they have been really unkind to me. So we're going with Patricia, who is the owner of Bubble and More, a master soap maker who teaches classes in Vancouver, Canada, not Washington. And we get to see her beautiful precision when it comes to the Project Soapway Ghost Swirl Challenge. And so she has been kind enough to give us all of the information on the screen, you know, which is very smart and awesome. And really, I should probably do more of that, but I don't. But cheers to you for doing it, because that helps us through the entire process. Now, as I discussed in my video on Saturday, the brief for this particular Project Soapway Challenge, the Ghost Swirl Challenge, was one color, using only one color, but changing up the lye concentrations, specifically at least 3 different lye concentrations, in order to achieve swirls, a beautiful pattern and design within a soap, using, again, only one color to do it. And with this, I definitely left this bit in because I saw on the screen I want the exact measures, and she literally gets exact and precise measures using little, you know, the thing. What is that called? To change and move everything around to make sure that everything is precise, because that really realistically is going to be the key to success in a good ghost swirl. Precision, because as we know, fragrances can change the color of soap, it can change the texture of soap, even if it doesn't necessarily change the color. And soap too can micas and the amount that you use. And so keeping it incredibly precise, it's very scientific, it's very delightful, I love everything about it. And she carries that on throughout the entire, you know, process, which makes sense to me. And it also makes sense as to, you know, why she won, because it really was very precise. And so she will be using a green mica throughout all of this, 1 tablespoon for each section. And she was kind enough to give the recipe for hers if you would like to. I highly recommend advantage of a free recipe from Patricia whenever you can, because she is epic. And I don't know if you didn't see her original first video. She did the coconut free challenge, and that lather was so extraordinary. It lives rent free in my brain, much like lots of things. There are a lot of things living in my brain, but Bubble and More is one of those things. And again, Bubble and More, by the way, did I already say that? So she teaches classes in Canada, and she is exceptionally good at what she does. So every time I have an opportunity to watch her in action, I am absolutely going to take it. Now, her very first video that she did, she fully edited it for me, and I thought that was the most delightful thing ever. She sent me a note with this one and said that she did not fully edit it. And then I still got all of these edits, right? It was still a video that had been cut, and all of the, things on the screen and whatnot. Also, I really love this, and I love that she's pointing it out, because this is my brain. The whole multitasking, right? She's got stick blender ready to go for the second lye solution. She's already done the third. She's found trace with that, or emulsion with that. And she's still kind of fiddling with it with the spatula to ensure that it stays nice and fluid for her pour. And this was also very smart of her to attack the 3 different lye concentrations in this way. So effectively what she did was she got emulsion in the third one, the one that has the most extra water, the water addition, first, and then moved on to, kind of your mid-range one, and then finishing out with the one that has a very low amount of water in it. I think that is really smart, because we know, based on the lye concentration, deep dive playlist that I put out several months ago at this point, the more water that you have in your batch, the more fluid your batter is going to stay, and the longer it is going to stay fluid. And so working with this, going from essentially most water to least water, very smart idea, because you do want that one with a really heavy lye concentration to still stay fluid enough in order to do a pour or a swirl or a hanger or whatever you decide to do to, make your swirls. And so I like that. Very, very smart. And again, I do have to emphasize, she said that this was not edited, but this speed up thing, that was her. She did that. So I don't know what she was talking about. She totally edited this video, making my life super easy. So all I have to do is sit and talk about how awesome she is. And also this, yes, emulsion check. Professional soap makers know. It's all about that emulsion, baby. Had to zoom in on that one because it was awesome. Now, she is also adding the exact same amount of fragrance to each of the containers, which I think is a very smart thing to do as well. The aforementioned fragrances can change the consistency of the, soap, even if it doesn't change the color, even if it's not known to discolor. And when you're relying on the lye concentration to be the only thing that's actually changing the look and texture of the soap, yeah, it's important to make sure everything else is super precise. While I did deal with super precision within my Ghost Swirl, I also didn't do anything like, make it pretty by swirling it. It just kind of all ended up in the thing, like chlorophyll. That was all. Also, I know I didn't put a end of whatever in that video for mine, but that was because my only outtake was, it was nothing but me listing off my top 5 most favorite Adam Sandler movies. And so that was weird. But then I just told you about it, so that's also weird. And Bubblin' More is not weird, so let's go on to this pour and check out all of her different fluidities and how they all fare. Okay, and on to the pour with Patricia, and as we, recap, the lye concentration will determine the thickness of the batter and how long it stays fluid. So I am going to guess, based on that is her most heavy lye concentration. And then also, this is wild. See how very, very thick this first one that she put in was. Look how fluid and gorgeous that is. Super wild. And I am interested to know if that's number 2 or number 3. But let's see what this one does. Ooh, it's even more fluid. I feel like that's number 3. But with all of this, it's also the mark of a professional soap maker that, teaches classes and has done this for a very long time. But she's not panicking and worrying about all of the thickness going on with that one lye concentration, with that one, portion of the soap. She's just continuing on. And I am glad that she is doing this. And I loved being able to see not only the differences in the texture, obviously, but the obvious differences within the colors. Now, the one that is the thickest is not really much different in color from the mid-range one, but because it is already so thick and she's going to be manipulating it, and we know that that lye concentration is going to be the heaviest, it is going to do interesting things during saponification, i.e. probably being the big contributing factor to changing the texture and adding some depth and dimension to the look of the bar once it's cut. Would be my thinking. That's what I have noticed in Ghost Swirls just overall. If you're ever interested in really deep diving into Ghost Swirls and the beauty of them, again, check out Auntie Clara. She's delightful. Go read her blogs. This also will live rent-free in my brain forever. Look at how simple she did with her swirl. There was nothing fancy to it. It was just some swirlies going along the whole. I think she planned it. Because look how beautiful that is. Look how gorgeous that is. It's like leaves, or it's very botanical. It's very delightful looking. I like the green, so it was gonna win probably regardless. But the actual how she got that beautiful swirl, that was it. She just put a skewer in it and did some, figure eights going the length of the mold. It was incredible. 10 out of 10. Now, I have no idea if this soap is going to be put into the oven to C-pop or gel, but let's go on to the cut and see what the finished product looks like, what it all looks like after saponification. And on to the cut of this, and she did play it smart and just did a teeny tiny batch of hers, and so the cut is not going to be a fairly long one, makes for a fairly short video in reality, but I do see perhaps some overheating on the top. And also it's very, very light in color, so I'm wondering if she put it in the freezer to get it out of the mold properly, or she just let it sit, or there was no, C-popping and gelling going on. It was just on the counter for a couple days until she decided to cut it. But there is, okay, so she did plane it off, so she got some soda ash on it. Looks like that's what was going on, and a little bit of overheating. And so this is interesting how, because she did plane it. Okay, so so she has decided that she's going to go ahead and cut this essentially horizontally from the way that she poured it, right? And so not from the top down, but from the side, which I think is a really cool idea. And there, that would be the bottom part of the bar of the loaf that she poured. Wasn't a lot of swirls going on with that, but there sure is a gorgeous swirl going on there. Isn't that amazing? And you can absolutely see the different colors, the different textures, all of the different lye concentrations essentially in action after saponification. It's absolutely stunning. I am so... That's very smart. I wonder if she does her swirls, a lot of swirls like that, and just cuts it from the side. Or if she just decided that after seeing it, after she had planed off the top, that it was a pretty decent design, she wanted to see what it would do. I don't know. Either way, it's gorgeous. I am so proud of you. Well done. Everybody go follow Bubble and More. And, you know, if I end up calling her Patricia again, I'm super sorry about it. It's Patricia, but also I'm probably not pronouncing that right either because I'm bad at things. But she is not. Look how beautiful this is. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. It makes me so happy. All done with just one mica. Absolutely stunning. 10 out of 10. I am so proud of you. Thank you so much for showing us your process. Oh my god, what a gorgeous bar of soap. Such a beautiful color, and just the differences between the three different colors, you can totally see them. And the swirls themselves, they almost seem to build on themselves like a flower or something artistic that I don't know the name of, but it's very beautiful. And I was a sucker for all of those things because that color is always just my jam for sure. And then just how beautiful the actual differences with the swirls. Yep, 10 out of 10. I love it. This was a wonderful ghost swirl, so congratulations on that. But thank you for being such a good teacher throughout all of this. I love that you left your actual recipe in with your notes. I love how great at record keeping you are, so you have your recipe and all of the notes for yourself, but thank you for showing them to us. I appreciate that. And also explaining your thought process for the lye solutions and all the things. A 10 out of 10 professional job as always from Bubble and More. Everybody, Sudzers, go give her all of the love at all of the places that we can find her. She's an amazing human. She is an absolute delight to have as a Sudzer. Thank you for having joined the Sudzer family and been a part of, you know, my life. I appreciate it. And thank you for sharing some of your life with me. I have said it so many times, the talents that the Sudzers have is just, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And I do believe that Patricia is a wonderful representation of said talents. So again, thank you. Sudzers, thank you for being here. Of course, thank you for the submissions, all of the things. We have one more winner left in the Project Soapway Ghost Swirls Challenge. I am very excited for this one. So that is what we will be doing tomorrow. It'll be a good time. For those of you who are not Sudzers, hi, hello. Thank you for being here and supporting a fellow maker, because that's what this is all about. And I appreciate it when we get to do so. So I'm out of here, but I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of Project Soapway. Soapy fun. Bye. This makes me feel like a total fraud. I don't. Who is this person? Why would you do this to your hair? In what world is this something that you would do? Am I like edgy? Taking some sort of edgy picture for my Instagram? Do I kiss through my hair? Where does it go? Okay. Stop it. Be normal.